Hello and welcome to Jim's Code Corner. My name is Jim Belcher. Today's something a little different. I'm actually responding to a comment that was left on the YouTube channel. The comment came out asking if I could demonstrate how to implement and style a module called ngx-pagination. So a big shout out to Venkatesh Dev, sorry if I brutalized that name, for making the comment. And I'm going to do this for you. This is great. This is the kind of comments I like to see. So we're going to do this for you today. So the criteria I have here, as a user, I want to only be able to see 5 to-do items at a time so that my list is not overwhelming. So basically, I'm implementing pagination. Southern criteria, given the to-do list has more than 5 tasks, when I see the list, then I only want to see 5 tasks. Given the to-do list has more than 5 tasks, when I see the to-do list, then I want to be able to see navigation buttons using the next button, the previous button, and the current selected one. So I didn't really go too much detail writing the story, just because I'm going to consider it non-canon, if you will, on this playlist. So let's get to it, and we'll go ahead and implement this guy and show you how to style it. So let's go first for the command line, make sure I'm in the right place. I believe I am. Yes. Okay. PWD, make sure I am. Cool. Clear that out. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and we'll open up Visual Studio Code here. Actually, no, we will not. I lied. First thing we're going to do is actually, let's go to the website and we'll prepare to download this thing. So ngx-pagination. Okay. So it's really easy to install. It's just a simple npm. So let's go ahead and install that guy. Let's put it over here so I can actually see it. So let's do npm install ngx-pagination-save. Okay. So we'll let this install. While it's installing, apparently I failed. Not found. ngx, I misspelled that, that's why. Okay. There. So while that's installing, thank you for all the support, you guys. I really like all the likes, and I've been getting a lot of positive comments. Don't forget to subscribe and keep those comments coming. I do want to put as much content as I can out there for you guys, so just keep it coming. It could be random things like this, or if you want to see something specific, let me know. Um, okay, so it's installed now. We can go ahead and use that. Let's go with Visual Studio Code. We'll start by going into me closing everything here. Too much stuff open. Let's go ahead and go into the module, and we'll get that guy imported in. So we'll start by doing an import, and we'll do ngx pagination module from ngx dash pagination. Really easy to put in there. Apparently I really can't spell. Okay. Wow, this is bad. There we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and include that here in our imports. So ngx. All right. So the module is now imported, so we should be able to use it anywhere in the application with no problem. There's actually, from what I found, there's nothing to do actually in the component side, like on the TypeScript side. So we're going to go right into the HTML here, and we're going to implement this guy. So it's pretty easy. We're just going to use a pipe here. We'll call it paginate colon, and it takes an object in with our options. So in this case, we're going to use items per page colon. We'll say 5. Meet our criteria, and the current page will be referenced by P for page. Okay, cool. So that will do that in a loop. The next thing we need to do is actually use the component itself. So we'll say pagination controls. This is going to be our little nav bar. We'll add a class to this so we can use it for styling. We'll see how we do that in a moment. So my pagination. And we got some options we're going to feed in here. So previous label. No, we'll skip those for now. We'll show what they look like originally before you enter these things in there. Um, we will need this guy here though, page change, and equals p equals $event. And the maximum size, we'll leave that blank too, just so you guys can see what that looks like before and after for that here. Okay, I believe that's all we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up a directory, cd, dot dot. I should be, yep, I can go great old boot run, start my backend. And on the front end, we'll do our npm start, run start rather. That way it uses that proxy, so we can actually use our database. Wait for this to load. Okay, cool. Should be running now. So let's go ahead and go to 42. I'll refresh that page here. Um, okay, so it looks like that's what it looks like by default. So let's go ahead and add some stuff to this. So test. I'll copy that guy real quick. One. That is not correct. I think I need to close this and we'll reopen that. I must be caching. All right, give me one moment and I'll come back and we'll get rid of this little nasty cache thing here. Okay, guys, sorry about that. It wasn't actually a caching issue. I did something silly and actually was running off my test project that I did to make sure I knew what I was doing here. So that's why it looked wrong. Okay, so this is the way it should default look. You can see it has a nice previous button, next button, current's all highlighted in blue. Got the double arrows here to go all the way to the end and beginning. Let's go ahead and we'll add some more items, as I was going to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, and you see here at 6, it actually created this number 2 here. I click it, and there's number 6 there. I go hit next, then it goes to the next page. Cool. That's exactly what we want to see. So let's go ahead and implement a couple of these options I kind of skipped over, and we'll style a little bit. I'm not going to be making it very pretty, I'll warn you. In the beginning, I'm just going to get the idea of how to style it. So we'll start with doing our previous label equals, and let's do something silly. Let's do star star for the previous button. And for the next label, we'll use hash hash. How about that? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and we'll see, or refresh already. We'll see we got the hash hash and we have our star star. So that's how you change these labels here. Next thing we're going to do is this. Let's look at this max size. So let's say you had 100 pages worth of things. So max size will allow that to limit, so you get something a little bit more manageable. Size, let's say, equals 4. Okay, I'll save that off. We won't see any difference here. I'm just going to add some gibberish in here for a while. And eventually we'll see here. Oh, there's page number 3, number 4. And oh, okay, now that's where that dot 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 comes in. Because I had a maximum of 4 items here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I were to get rid of some of these, then this would go back to the way it was with the 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So we'll see that the back buttons work, forward button works. Huh, looks like that's kind of a silly bug. Don't think that's me though. Let's add a few more pages worth of stuff. Maybe it's just the odd amount of pages. Okay, so 2. Okay, yeah, that's kind of strange. That's a little defect with the light module. Maybe I'll put an issue in GitHub on that one. Okay, cool. So that's how you implement. It's really simple. There's lots of options on there. There's a whole list, written documentation of things you can do. So feel free to read that over. I'm not going to go through every one of those. Um, so, but the request from Venkatesh Dev, once again, he wanted to see how do you style this. And that was his one. It seemed like his main priority is how to style this thing. Implementation seemed pretty easy, which we just saw it is. So let's go ahead and style it. The first way I'm going to show you is how the documentation recommends, and I'll show you that real quick. So if you remember, we created a class called ngx-pagination, and inside of the component is a class. We'll say it's ngx-pagination, and inside of that is a class called current. And this is going to be this is going to reference the current page. So in this case, number 7 is highlighted in blue. So what we could do is we can change this. Let's just change the background color for now. We'll see more other things here in a moment. Let's change it to red. Okay, and this is not going to work. Now I'll show you why. Because the documentation, what it recommends you do, if let's see the style. What it recommends you do is use this deep. So let's go ahead and add deep, and this is a former, and I say that former way of doing things with Angular. This is now actually obsolete. Deep is actually obsolete. We should not be doing that. I can't stress that enough. But you can see it still works. It's not completely phased out yet, apparently. And there's another method we can do this, and I'm going to actually do it on the previous button, which I'll show you here. So once again, I'm just going to copy all this because it's pretty simple. I don't feel like typing at all, and you guys don't want to watch it. So it's not going to be that current, though. It's going to be pagination dash previous. This is going to be for that previous button. Once again, I'm going to change the background to red, but a newer way of doing it was, I still say was triple arrows. And we'll see that it's not red. Cool. That's also deprecated. So I would not recommend either one of these. I would more recommend at this time of this video to actually just make it a global style sheet. Odds are you're going to want your nav bars to look the same throughout your website. So why not? I usually maybe create a separate style sheet just for styling those. So I'm going to show you the crazy style I kind of came up with, and it's yeah, it's kind of silly. So I'll say my pagination, and I'm going to go ahead and not use the triple arrow or deep ngx because they are deprecated. They will be phased out, and eventually it'll just break stuff, and we do not want that. Current. So what I did is I actually put the background to white, and we made a font size of 24. So it's going to be a little bigger than the current one. I actually put a border bottom on there. And I made it 3px, solid, and red. And I made the color of the text black. Okay, so in order to actually really see what this is going to do, I've got to go ahead and get rid of these guys. Remember, deep and these triple arrows here, that's what's recommended through documentation. It is an old way. Do not do it now. Deprecated. Deprecated bad. Don't do that. So let's take a look at it, and we'll see. Here we go. Here's what my little thing was. So if I click it, you'll see the number gets bigger. It underlines it. I mean, it's something silly. Why not? I didn't style these guys here. But that's how you style it. It's pretty simple. There are a few classes they use in the component. Let's see if we can actually dig in here a little bit. See if it lets me. So yeah. So we have this. There's the previous button here. Let's see. How did I find it? I just kind of dug through the code here and found the classes. Here's current, and then there's pagination next. And we can see it's disabled, so we can actually style that as well because it's got a different class on there. So there's a few classes to style. There's a few things you could do. With Power CSS, we could do a lot, I suppose, even with only a few classes. Uh, but thanks again for the recommendation for this video. I hope this answered your question. If not, feel free to leave more comments. We can go dig deeper into it. Um, and keep the suggestions coming. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'm just going to keep those comments coming. Thank you very much and have a great day.